All right, so far this idea is coming along nicely. I mentioned that the polymer instrument, I added this for a specific reason. So let's go ahead and look at it. Right now at the bottom of the screen, I have the editor panel. I want to switch to the device panel using a one button shortcut. So I'll simply press D on my keyboard and there's my device panel. Awesome. One of the reasons I brought in Polymer is because, as I briefly mentioned, this is a modular synth. And what that means is that, let's say that I don't really like the Union oscillator, or I want a different type of filter, I can swap this out for something that's more to my liking. For example, this is a great chance for us to talk about one of the new features in Bitwig 5, which are the MSEG modules, which lets you basically draw your own multi-segment oscillators or modulators or envelopes. Let's go ahead and I'm going to click here where it says Union. And now these are all the different oscillators that I can choose from. And the one I want to look at is Scrawl. All right, so this is new. And there it is. All right, before I do anything else, this is running through the filter. Let's go ahead and just play the bass line and just hear if there's a noticeable difference. Okay, it's a softer tone. Let's go ahead and I'll just turn the filter off. All right, no sub oscillator, no nothing. All right, now if I wanted to, I could click here in this window. And now there's a pop-up window. What's great too is I can resize it to be as big as I want. And in here, I can change the shape of this, which will influence the timbre of my tone, okay? We have a grid here and we have some different tools which can change how you draw these different shapes. So I think I want more room to play with. I'm gonna make the grid, let's say make this 8 by 8. How about that? All right, and it's currently gonna snap to the grid. So let's go and just play with some shapes. I will play the bass line, the filter's off, and let's just hear how this influences the timbre of my sound. Okay, so you can see you can make a pretty big difference. And if you don't want to stick with these pre-made shapes, you can just break out a pen here. You can even turn off snap. And if you draw really, really slow, you can make like a bajillion breakpoints and make whatever shape that you want, as long as you don't lift your pen off of the grid. And let's say you make a shape that you really, really like and you want to save that. Well, you easily can. We see there's two icons here. We can either load a different shape or we can save the one that we just made. Let's say I like this. And what do I want to call this curve? Let's call this Fave Round. That's very descriptive. And yes, it's going to be a periodic wave made by myself. Everything that I make, I just tag under my own name. It's very easy to find my own stuff. If I want to add other descriptions and tags, I can, but this is fine. All right. Now, the great thing is that this Scrawl oscillator is just one of many different MSEG devices, and they can all use the same curves. So if I want to, I could then load this into another MSEG device that's used for an amplitude envelope. All right. But maybe I don't want to use this. Maybe I want to try out some different varieties of stuff. I've saved this so I can always go back to it. Let's go ahead and click here. And let me make sure this is playing. And let's try some of these other periodic waveforms. And again, I can preview all this while the instrument is still active. So turning my filter back on changes my impression of all these. Nice. Cool. And then once they're loaded, I could go in here and modify them even further if I want. Market falling. That's Very timely. So Polymer is very flexible because it allows you to dive into some of these deeper concepts I was talking about before, utilizing a completely different oscillator to give you a different tone. If you want to choose a different filter, we could swap this out for a different filter. If we want to choose a different amplitude envelope, we could swap this out for a different envelope. And we can see here is an envelope that also uses MSEGs, uses these different curve types. I could even take the curve that I made before and load it up here. So this gives you a good idea of just how deep the rabbit hole can go.